what are the steps? So we have a prescriptive discussion about how we actually, day to day, live the lives we're wanting to live, the lives we were promised, because Spirit, God, the law, says yes and answers all our prayers. We know this. So how do we pray? We talk about that, prayer and meditation, so that we can have clear thoughts about what it is we want, who it is we want to be, and claim that life every single day, in every action that we take. That is what New Thought means. That's what we do. And we recognize that you have the power to do exactly that. Speak to the universe. Speak into the universe what you seek from the universe. Speak into the universe what you seek from the universe. And it is yours. That is always yours. Is always yours. So my question all the time is, why are you here today? And not, so this is still on. Can you just turn this off? Bring it down. Perfect, thank you. My question is, why are you here today? And not to answer for me, it's for you, because we set our intention. So when I ask you, why are you here? I don't know, it's off. It's completely off. This is probably too loud. This is probably too loud. Thank you. What'd you say?
He said he just wants us to miss Aaron.
So we just set our intention. That is speaking deliberately. That is how we live purposefully. Now I'm completely off.
My bad.
It's gonna be all the time today, so you're gonna have to just listen up. There we go. I'm gonna talk loud. All right, just listen up. Don't worry about it.
You're good.
All right.
I just
So
muted
set your
everything
attention.
else.
That's what I want to say today, so that you can get what you came here for today. Your life today is just a reflection of yesterday's thoughts. So if you like what your day looks like, just keep thinking what you're thinking. But if you don't, start changing what you're thinking. Start changing what you're thinking and speak the truth, your truth, into the universe. That's what we do. So change it today. So last week, we talked about doing your job. And I want to speak to what you said, Bill. I could see there's a lot of emotion about what you were speaking about this morning. And you're absolutely correct. We do have free will. And free will does bring with it responsibility. So the thing about free will, because the question always becomes when there's something going on, that the kids are mowed down, but whatever the thing that comes up, and there's always something, because that's life. There's always something. The questions become, how could God let this happen? That's always the question. And what we know in New Thought is that we are all God. And we all have free will. Here's what I want you to know. We are ever evolving. Ever evolving. Not all of us have the same physical experiences on this planet. I was raised by a very loving mother. I know how fortunate I am, and so are my siblings for having had that. I also know there are many people that I love that did not have that experience and struggle understanding what love is, what it looks like, what unconditional love is, because they weren't raised with it. The reason why I'm bringing this up is for this reason. Those of us who do know what love is, and I believe it encounters everyone that's in this room, it is our job to go out and love unconditionally, to have the courage to love others every single day and every moment. What does it look like? So the other day, I was here at this mall, and I went to go see Downton Abbey, the new movie. And I'm in line getting popcorn because you know what's a movie without popcorn. So I'm at the movie, and there's these two kids behind me, a teenage boy and girl. Don't know their age, maybe 15, 16, I don't know. Wasn't really hearing the conversation, but I heard him say, whatever they were talking about, I heard him say, so what did they tell you? I don't know what the day was, but he said, what did they tell you? No, they didn't say what they said. Did they tell you something? I missed that part. Did they tell you? And she said, no. They told me I should go kill myself. That's what she said. I swung around on her and I said, who told you that? Let's go get him right now. I'm not kidding. I turned, who? And she said, no, I was just kidding with him. Are you sure? Because we will go get them right now. Nobody has the right to ever And she said, no, it didn't happen. It did not happen, all right? Because I don't play with that shit. Okay? You understand? Wherever it's happening, I don't know these kids, but what I do know is no one has the right to tell anybody something like that. When you see somebody hurting, have the courage to walk up to them and tell them, you're wrong about that. You are loved. And look them in the eye. There is something about looking someone in the eye with love. They know you are telling them the truth. That you love them. That's what we get to do. Because we know what love looks like. And that's how we're going to help evolve the planet. That's our job. I brought that back up because I said last week, do your job. That's part of our job. Those of us who know love, if we're going to raise the consciousness of the planet so that everybody who doesn't know love begins to know love, it's those of us who know what love is, it's incumbent upon us to love others in that way. So they begin to understand. They don't know what unconditional love looks like. We do. So if we do have the courage to love unconditionally, everywhere you see, love isn't. Everywhere you see. Okay? That's not my talk today, but I wanted to bring that up because it was profound and I could see that it was important for you to speak on that, and I wanted to continue that conversation about what is ours to do. Ours is to love. It's to love. Unconditionally, everybody, everywhere, all the time. All the time. That's how it is every single day. But my talk today is actually that life is a marathon. And that is a part of what we were just talking about. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up and why it's so important for us to understand that, because when we think it's a sprint, we think that there's only a limited amount of time. But we're evolving. So life is a marathon. And as long as we're taking breath, and even after we have had our last breath, we are still impacting where we were. We impact where we stand, and we impact where we stood. Okay? So it's important for us to do our job and to do what is ours to do where we stand every single day, and that the marathon continues. There is something about time being a tyrant. It's a tyrant. Because everywhere we are, then you can think about your experiences and you think, oh, I'm too old for that. It's too late. You have to be 21. You have to be 19. You have to be, whatever the age we think it is. The time has come and gone. The time has come and gone when you say the time has come and gone. No one gets to tell you the time has come and gone for whatever you're passionate about. Because it's yours to do. So the time doesn't go by. Grandma Moses didn't start, she was painting her whole life, but she didn't become famous. And how old was she? And she was old. That's why they call her Grandma Moses. Okay? There's a whole lot of examples about that. So we don't need to worry about time, but we do. And that's why, again, we have to keep the marathon continuous, means keep on stepping. If you think about an actual marathon race, the race doesn't just necessarily, there's a person who comes in second, third, and fourth, but everyone who crosses the finish line is a winner. It's about crossing the finish line. You get that? You have to cross the finish line. And the finish line is simply your life. It doesn't finish until you lay down and say it's done. It's over. That's when it stops. So we get to do that. I don't know if any of you got on. I didn't see any of your faces, and that's okay because not everybody shows their face when we're on the Talk Music Thursdays. It was just this past Thursday. And it's 11 o'clock on the final Thursdays of the month. And we had a fabulous guest. And her name is Martha Creek. She is, it's just hard to describe. She's from Kentucky. She's been in New Thought for over 30 years. She's a religious science teacher as well as a religious science and science of mind as well as unity. So she teaches all, just like I do. She teaches all of it. And she's been doing it for a long time. She's just like the sweetest little angelic grandmother. You have some white hair and just rosy cheeks, and she's just wonderful. And she talked about making a space for loss and grief. And the reason why I want to bring that up is because what her point was is that nothing lasts forever. Not joy, not pain, not suffering, nothing. This too shall pass, right? This too shall pass. So we have to begin to allow ourselves to have a space for the things that make us sad. And go ahead and own that. I'm sad about this. I'm grieving for this loss, for these people, for these things, for this past, for this future that I no longer have. Whatever it is, we get to do that because we get to feel all of our emotions fully. It will pass. It won't last forever. So part of the reason why, certainly for me, and I think for a number of people, that we won't experience the grief is because what are we going to do with it? Like, if we open up this can of worms, how are we getting back in the box? How are we getting back in that thing? They're all over the place now, and I don't know how to contain it. You don't contain it. That's the point. You don't. This too shall pass. It has its place in the sun. It has whatever it is that you need to learn from it, do from it, whatever. So we don't need to squash any emotions. We don't need to worry about hurrying up and getting someplace because the marathon continues. Life is an evolution. It's an evolutionary process. Just the one thing she said about nothing lasts forever. There's a Buddhist saying, I think, that life is dukkha, which is suffering, which I say life is dookie. That's it. And it's the same thing that, and Pjae told us, right? Life is hard, right? Life is difficult. And once you understand this truth, you transcend it. And because it no longer matters. So life is difficult is the same thing. It's a truth that you transcend. And then it no longer matters. Because this too shall pass. Life is joyful, is the truth. Life is all of the things. It's all of the things. And that's what life is. And so we just continue moving forward, whatever is going on. And do what is yours to do. Which I believe is to love one another. And whatever our gifts are, we use to serve one another. That's what the gifts are for. That's what the gifts are for. Whether you are an artist, or whether you write books, or whether you teach or garden, or whatever it is, it brings joy and service to others. That's what we're here to do. So that's what life is about. It's not a sprint. It's your personal best. That's what the marathon is. You get across the line at your personal best, not someone else's. Yours. That's what we get to do. So keep moving. You have all the time you need to do whatever it is that you want to do. My first mother-in-law, my first husband's mother, was one of my heroes because she had a horrible husband. My husband's stepfather was just a very mean person, and so his grandmother had a difficult life. But at the age of 60, she decided she wanted to be a nurse, and she was going back to school. She had been in school since high school. She went back to school, she got her BA, she got her nursing degree, and she became a nurse. Yeah, and then she left, because now she had her own money, and she no longer needed to be in this abusive relationship. That's what she did. Now, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because she was my hero. Because at 40, I'm thinking, oh my God. What I call my first degree, my undergrad degree, was the 440 plan. Took me 40 years to get a 4-year degree. But keep moving. It doesn't matter. I would, if I stop, if you stop, that's when you don't get it. So keep moving. It doesn't, the time has no matter. She did it at 60. I did it at 40, and now my kids look at me and her and say, we can do it. My daughter-in-law is 50, she's going back to get her doctorate, because I got mine. You understand? This is not about me. I'm saying that we do what we do, and we don't know who is inspired. And that's not why you do it, but I'm saying that's a part of what happens. If you have the courage to live your life, you give other people the courage to live theirs. Okay? You really do. It's just unspoken, but that's what happens. Every one of us has a hero, someone that we look to. You say, oh my God, they can do it. If they can do it. And the other thing is, if you can't be a good example, be a horrible warning. Okay? my first father-in-law was a horrible warning. He was a horrible guy. And I don't want this person in my life, so I get that. You can look at it. You got to be one or the other. You're either going to be a good example or a horrible warning, one or the other. So be a good example. Be a good example, because that's going to be your life. It is never too late. Whatever you're thinking, it's never too late to have the best life you want right now. That's what we get to do. Worrying about your life or what is or isn't happening is like being on a hamster wheel. It's just anxiety for no reason, just going in a circle. Worry doesn't do anything. What we can do is decide, yes or no. This is the power of our life, yeah? We get to decide, yes or no. And either way is okay because it's your life. No one gets to say, why are you not doing that? Because I don't want to. Because I'm done. Why are you doing that? Because I want to. Because I'm moving forward. You're the only person you have to answer to. It's you. So all you can do is make a decision. If you say yes, then you just get to move forward. And when you say yes, what you need to know comes to you. Why? Because of the law of attraction. Whatever you're claiming, the law of attraction brings the people, the places, the circumstances, whatever you need into your life just by saying yes. So having to need to know how it's going to work out, you can let go of that. That's not yours to do. What yours to do is to claim it and let the how come to you, because that's the universe's job. That's the universe's job. Claim it, and the universe sends it your way. The how just shows up. Don't worry about that. Or saying no. That way you just let go of something you've been worried about. Just let go of it. You say no, it's a clear, definitive, I'm not doing it. It's out of your head. And now you have space to say yes to something else. Okay? That's what we get to do. These are the things that I am so excited about with the way that we believe. The God of our understanding is that we are in charge every single day. And if we don't like the way it happened today, we can make a different decision today to affect tomorrow. Every single day. That's power. That's power. That's what free will brings us. And if we want free will for ourselves, because that's the way the law works, it's free will for everyone. It's free will for everyone. So it's not how could God do this, it's how do we do this. And as the collective consciousness, we raise it every time we go out. Those of us who understand and know what love is and love others the same way. Because love is more powerful than hate. Love is it's the most powerful emotion that we have on this planet. So if we go out in love, we cancel out a whole bunch of hate. If we go out in love. That's what we do. And that's easy to do. And those of us who love know it's easy to love. Those of us who don't know how easy it is. And so it's our job to do that. That's what we do. So the action steps, because what I want to say is, what I always say is that these talks are prescriptive, meaning that there's some steps. Like, how do we do this? Like, PJ, don't be talking about how, well, I was talking to Delia. I'm going to make her talk about this. Because she said last week, you know how she is, it's beautiful big eyes. And she's looking at me and she's like, I heard you talk. And you said, she said, I heard you talk and you said, well, if you want it, just ask God for it. And she says, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, she acts like it's so easy. And then I thought, it is. I love it. That's my talk. It is just that easy. That's the talk I'm going to be doing because of Delia. So I'm saying things, and some of you are going, what is she talking about? So part of it, the reason that I want to do some of these is to give you what does it look like. It's not just, I'm not talking about things that I can do, I'm talking about things that we can do. All of the things we can do. So here are some of the action steps. How do we embody this knowledge? To have it here to say, yes, I understand, isn't what we want. We want that, that's the beginning. But then what we have to do is actionize it. How do we do it every single day? How do we do it? All right. So, number one, breathe. You just have to breathe. It seems like a small thing, but it's not. It's a big thing. When you think about it, when you start to get anxious about something, you breathe shallowly. Shallowly. You start breathing short. If you want to relax, breathe deep. So just breathe deep. That's it. Take a breath. All right? The other thing is be here now. One of the things that Martha shared with us, and I'm talking to There's no need for regret, because regret is in the past. Regret is about something in the past. There's no need to worry, because worry is about a possibility in the future. If you stay present, then you are present. And it's all about love and what you can do in this moment. So stay as much as you can in this moment. Because in this moment, it's all good. In this moment, we are here and being loved. In this moment, everything is okay. So breathe and be in the moment. That's what we get to do. And when you find yourself worried, breathe, come back to the moment. That's what we do. And that is it. Those are 2 things that I have to share with you today. And those are wonderful things. So life is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you don't need to worry. You have all the time that you need. And how do you know that what I'm saying is true? What you can do is reflect on your own experience of worrying. Reflect on your own. You know that it worked out. The worry was useless. The worry didn't change anything. So don't take my word for it. Take your own word for it. You know already. I'm telling you the truth. You know that. You already know. So stay balanced and understand that this too, whatever is happening, it shall pass. And you ask the question of God. I talked about this all the time when you are in meditation and prayer. What's mine to do? What's mine to do? Sometimes it's nothing. Sometimes it's holding the light. Sometimes it's just loving from where you are. Sometimes it's just praying. Sometimes it's an action step. But what's mine to do? What's mine to do? What's we get to do? We get to ask that. I'll leave you with the final quote from M. Scott Peck, The Road Less Traveled. Life is difficult. This is the great truth. And once we see this truth, we transcend it. Once we truly know that life is difficult and we understand and accept it, then life is no longer difficult. It's no longer difficult. Because once it's accepted, it no longer matters. It just is. It's just life. We don't have to worry about it. It just is life. Life is difficult. It simply is. We transcend it, and then we know the marathon continues. The marathon continues. Enjoy this day.